Wade is guarding Bryant. Artest looking, gets it to Bryant. Bryant dribbling, has to put it up with the buzzer. Banks it in! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Syndicate members, and happy Freedom Week. That's right, man. We are live. It is Wednesday. It's 9 a.m. right here in Austin, Texas at Insurance Syndicate headquarters for Winning on Wednesday. My name is Tony Merwin, and this guy over here is the king of Facebook groups, the king of trucking groups, the Jolly Ginger Giant himself, the Tower of Power, Joseph.
Look at that freaking energy, baby. Let's go. I love when you roll in hot like that because it gets me freaking going too, man. What's up, everybody? Happy Winning on Wednesday. Good to see all y'all hopping on. If you can, please make sure and put in the comments that you can see us and hear us. Again, good morning. Hope y'all are having an amazing start to your week. We got an action-packed show for you guys. We're super excited. I'm actually have a special guest that we haven't had on Winning on Wednesday in quite a while, so I'm very excited to have him back on the show. Friend of the show, 100%. A friend of ours and somebody who's doing some amazing things in the industry. But as always, y'all, you know, before we get into bringing our guest on, got to give a shout out to our main sponsor, Viva Virtual Solutions. Shout out to Rob Lopez and to Lily Davies, who's behind the scenes doing all of our editing, publishing, everything. That's just on the social media side, not to mention all the other virtual assistants that we partner with within the insurance business, whether that's administrative, quoting, serve, all that good stuff. And literally creating freaking podcast and TikTok channels and YouTubes and all that good stuff. So shout out to Viva. We appreciate you. Thank you, Rob, as always, for being the sponsor of Winning on Wednesday. But without further ado, you guys know, and I'm going to do it again because I got my buttons down now. You all know, and go ahead and drop them in the comments.
Boom.
Because it's time for your weekly wins. Drop them in the comments. Happy Winning on Wednesday. I like it. All right, Mr. Merwin. Weekly win, man. What you got?
Dude, I'm going with the BNI group again. We had our monthly in-person meeting yesterday, right? And I just joined this group. They've already got me lined up for a speaking spot, which is awesome. So I get some extra time to highlight myself in the group. But dude, the group is already paying off. Like I just joined it recently, and yesterday alone, I scheduled 5 appointments during our lunch network. Got a couple of referrals and a couple of pieces of business coming in from it. Right on. So super active group, man. And we talk about this a lot, right? Your network is your net worth. We kind of beat it like a dead horse, but dude, this group is outstanding. And I've seen other people ask questions like, hey, is BNI worth it? Is any of that worth it? And it's going to depend like anything else on the quality of the specific BNI chapter that you might be looking at.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And if I'm an agent out there and I'm like, hey, is this BNI group worth it? Number one, go visit the group. Check it out. One of the cool things about BNI is that they are exclusive for each classification. So I'm the only Medicare guy that can exist in this group, right? Which is nice. But then are there other people that are members of the group already that are immediate referral partners for you?
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the first. And then the second, like, what are their metrics? And this is one of the reasons I love BNI. They keep track of all of the revenue that they generate through referrals, through their partnerships, et cetera. And this group in Austin has closed over $1.6 million in the last 12 months in revenue. So they're making money in that group. They got about 42 active members.
42.
We got a bunch of new ones coming on. But dude, I'm pumped about it. Like, we're definitely going to pull some major business out of that group.
Love it. Love it. And shout out to Hamadi again on that plug.
Yes.
You're the man, dude. We appreciate you. Man, my weekly win. It's funny, guys. I won't say what I did backstage that had Tony and our guest in tears because I used some suggestive words, I guess, to describe what I'm doing and what I got going on. But man, just the momentum that I've been on this week, really just in the past couple of weeks, ultimately, dude, it has been freaking amazing. Like I'm back on the horse. I am getting back into production in some scenarios, and just really just the opportunities that have come across my plate in the past couple of weeks. Like the calls that I've been on, I told you about that Monday call, learning about freaking microorganisms and biologicals and nano freaking nights or however the hell.
What are you even doing on that call?
Hey, it's not about what you know, but it's about who, man. And it's potentially a multi-million-dollar revenue deal, obviously down in the pipeline. But it's something completely out of insurance, yet insurance got me there. So that's been pretty crazy. And then had softball last night, and I had 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 RBIs, and we won like 17-4. So I always have to share my softball win. I'm actually getting a little bit better.
17-4. Were you playing the Bad News Bears Little League team?
It was actually a pretty solid squad. We were just freaking lights out. So I almost had the confidence to message my tournament team and be like, put me in the next tournament. And then I was like, wait, Joe, no, you've had a couple beers. This is beer league softball. Don't act like you can go play tournament ball. But no, those are the weekly wins. Y'all, again, drop those in the comments. We want to be able to celebrate you. I'm going to go ahead and look here. What's up, JR? How are you, brother? Miss Grace, Todd, what's up? Good to see you on here, brother, as always. And again, shout out to y'all. Happy winning on Wednesday. And without further ado, you guys, again, he's no stranger to the show. He's no stranger to the syndicate. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. We have the notorious Mr. John Wetmore. What's going on, brother?
What up, dude? All is good.
Yeah.
All is good over here, brother. Say again?
Jetmore with Wetmore.
Ooh,
yeah, I hear all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. I'm working on my new diet. Called Way More with Wetmore.
No, you're supposed to weigh less. The juice. What happened?
No, we're maintaining. We're hitting it again. We're going to do 75 hard again here pretty soon. We're lighting up July 18th for a 75-day countdown to the annual election period for Medicare.
I love it. You hitting weights?
Oh yeah,
you're cranking some weights. I like it.
Absolutely.
You're looking fit, dude.
And kung fu.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
What's it called?
Hiya.
Hiya. He's doing hiya too. Don't ask him. Actually, John, those are some good stories.
That can't be real.
That's not real.
Oh, it's not. Oh, but the kung fu. You should ask him some of his stories though about some of the guys that he's met in that gym. They're actually pretty good freaking stories. But hey, y'all, again, welcome John to the show. Obviously, we've had you on before. You used to run our Thursday shows for literally probably over a year. And so always, good to have you on and just getting to learn from you every single time I get to hang out with you and get to speak with you. So thanks for taking the time. Again, y'all, this is interactive. So please, if you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to drop them in the comments. I will be toggling back and forth just to make sure that we get those, any of those questions that you guys may have for us or John himself. And John, real quick too, man. Me and Tony, we were kind of thinking just the theme of the show. Obviously, the title of the show is Winning on Wednesday, right? And we really try to focus on just those wins, right? But we ultimately know, the things that you have to overcome and go through in order to get to the win. So the theme of today's show, y'all, is really just how to win in the insurance industry. Obviously, you've got a Medicare guy, you've got a PNC guy, you've got a life guy, and John, as well as some other businesses and stuff like that. So it's really, we're going to kind of go through, and John, we've got some questions that we'll be asking you, and would love for you to kind of just go with it and fill us in. But real quick, for anybody that maybe doesn't know who John Wetmore is, they're probably living under a rock, but still, what's a quick little 30,000-foot overview for John, just for anybody that maybe doesn't know you?
You asking me or Tony?
I'm asking you.
Oh, man, I'm asking you. I'm just some dipshit who works hard and sells a lot of life insurance.
Call you the $200 million man?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
For those that don't know Mr. Wetmore, his whole motto is to do more shit, right? Do more, work harder, do more with Wetmore. And he has built a massive organization. The dude used to be an accountant, and he was counting coupons when he was buying his groceries. Now he buys all his groceries in cash money. Cash money. You don't need coupons anymore. So from coupons to cash is one of the best stories I've ever heard. But he runs a massive FFL organization, Integrity Partner. The guy's out there killing it out of Atlanta, Georgia, and just all around super sweet, juicy, phenomenal dude. So if you ever
you guys can't give me crap for what I said backstage if he's going to say that on live show, man.
If you ever good it feels to be called juicy from you, Tony. I like it.
if you ever get an opportunity to share space and oxygen with Mr. Wetmore, I highly encourage you to do it, because he will tell you exactly like it is.
That I do. I appreciate the intro, dude. That was good.
That's one of the things I've always appreciated about you, is you are not one to sugarcoat things. And I think that's probably a big testament to your success in the business, because there are a lot of agents or recruiters and agencies that sugarcoat it for the agent, and they make it sound more glorious than it is, or whatever the case may be, right? And I've always appreciated the fact that you're transparent with agents, with like, look, dude, you're gonna work. Period. And if you don't, then it ain't gonna work for you.
You know what's funny is every time I post something about working hard, I get like these stupid comments that are like, why would you work hard when you can work smart and have AI do it all for you? I'm like, dude, I want to punch people in the face with those comments. It drives me nuts, dude. I'm like, oh, Lord. It does. I get it. I get the point they're somewhat trying to make, but it does make me mental, because I don't know anybody who's had success, including you two, that haven't worked your asses off.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And everybody's looking for the secret sauce first, like the magic and the easy way out. And I'm like, it does get easier. I don't have to do the things today to make a buck that I used to have to do to make the equivalent buck 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But man, to get started, and again, as you know, the average person watching us, if you bring in 1,000 agents, dude, the percentage of them that are broke is really high. You know what I mean? So I'm like, we're speaking to those people, because I was one of those. Y'all have had those, you know what I mean? It's like, we're trying to get people from ground zero to having success. Dude, the first step ain't how good is your AI campaign. It's just not.
It's definitely not.
You know what I mean? I'm like, can we just work?
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's what got me out. I thought it was all being the accountant. You know what I mean? I was very analytical. I was trying to overthink everything. I thought I had to know everything about everything. And not that those learning your craft isn't important. And that kind of drives me crazy, because I think people hear me say, you don't need that. And I'm like, no, you need that too. You just don't need it first.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like, let's just reverse the order. Why don't we work hard first and learn shit later? You know what I mean? As we go, it's part of the process. Is like Maddox is in baseball. Right. He's some
homers too. Let's go, man.
Dude. Yeah. Speaking of weekly wins, man, we were at Cooperstown. He got to do that. You can only play when you're 12, and you have to have like an invite. Like not anyone can just go.
Mm-hmm.
And the fool hit his first 2. He's never hit a home run out of the park. He did it in practice, but he's never hit a game home run. So he hit 2 in Cooperstown. One squeaked over the fence, and one he smashed out, which was cool. Yeah. So. A guy on his one of the coach's older sons, when he hit it, he goes, damn, that was a piss missile. I'm like, what does that mean? So in Cooperstown, you can get your ball engraved, right? They have these little stamps, whatever. And so the first home run, we go up and we get Maddox Wetmore, number 34, first home run. Da, da, da. Well, the next day he hits that one. So we're like, I feel like we should put that on the ball. So we got piss missile engraved on his They're showing his grandmother last night. She was like, what are y'all doing? Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I don't know.
We're working hard. That he doesn't just come out of the gun hitting baseball.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the kid had correct. Yeah, I mean, again, imagine you go, I don't want to play baseball until I'm good.
Right.
Like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you get good at baseball? Dude, you take way more ground balls than everybody else and pop flies, and you hit off the tee more. And you know what I mean? Like, it's not that deep when we change the circumstance we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but suddenly we get into here and everybody's like, why work hard? Why don't I just be amazing if I learn Tony's new script? That'll make me rich tomorrow. I'm like, dude, I really feel like I think that people are being lied to when they're told that. And it drives me mental. So I do just tell them, and my path wasn't, I got the magic script that, and again, I did get really good at sales. I got phenomenal on the phone. I got really good at lead flow. I do understand the business inside out, but that's not what took me from broke to making multiple 6 figures selling.
Mm-hmm.
It was working more than I was working before. That was literally it. And so I like to give people that path because it seems easy to me. When I figured that out, I was like, oh, that's it?
Just work.
Like, that's it. They're like, yeah. Okay. That seems stupid easy. I wish someone told me sooner. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a pet peeve of mine that that isn't just the initial. And again, did I learn sales along the way? Yes. But you learn sales a lot quicker when you're seeing a lot more people. You learn how to overcome objections a lot quicker when you're seeing a bunch of people. Yeah. You don't have the desperate need to sell that policy when you're talking to a lot of people. You can pay attention to the person you're sitting with a lot more. The attention can be on them instead of your electric bill. You know what I mean? It's like it took a lot of burden off of me to just go at it a different way, you know, and again, the get better part I wanted and I got, but I gained it by outworking people and having so many people and so many scenarios and so many sales situations, so many losses and failures and mistakes and problems come at me at like high speed. You know, you get good really quick like that.
It's funny you brought up scripts earlier, and it's funny my guy Todd. You've met Todd a couple times, John, and he's always giving me crap because he hears me like if I'm on calls and I end up like wanting to help an agent or something like that, and I'm like, yeah, bro, I'll send you the scripts and everything like that, and he's like, come on, man, like why are you sending him our shit? Because it's a damn good script, like it works, but it's hilarious because I sent it because, man, 75% of them maybe never even going to look at it, man. They could literally have the magic. They could have the magic script that they have been chasing, and they still won't freaking use it because they're not going to pick up the phone. They won't do the dials. They won't do what's necessary.
Here's the thing, dude. Even if they do pick up the magic script, they ain't going to work the script like the person who created the script.
Correct.
Because they're too new and they don't have the reps. Right. They don't have the flow and they don't understand why the script is the way it is. The principles of the script and the cadence of the script. They just don't, you know what I mean? That takes time.
100.
So it's like, I wish we could get that through people's head more, because a lot more people would have success and they would understand the process and the things they're going through are normal. You know what I mean? And the struggles are normal. Like, I don't try to pretend they're not going to struggle. I'm like, yo, this is going to be more than likely, this is going to suck at the beginning, way more than it's good. And honestly, and then sometimes, dude, when it feels good right away, that makes me more nervous. Because I'm like, when the downfall comes, you know what I mean? Someone who starts out killing it, I'm like, uh-oh.
Yep.
I don't care how good you are, you have downswings in business. We have them. I have them to this day.
Right.
So if it starts out amazing, when you hit that down, dude, that hurts even more than when you start down, in my opinion.
Agreed. I would agree 100% because they're not expecting it.
Yeah.
They don't see it coming. They're like, holy crap, I come out of the gate hot. I'm killing it at this. I'm phenomenal. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, I can't make a sale for a month because I can't get the right person on the phone, or I can't qualify them, or whatever it might be. That new guy energy kind of rubs off a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've seen that happen. When I was doing door-to-door teams, I would see that happen.
Yeah. I just wish more people were in for the process.
Do you
know what I mean?
Do you think that there's maybe a stigma to insurance? And I'm not sure if that's the right word, that attracts quote unquote lazy people to the industry because they think, oh, this is the thing I can do and work for myself, and I can kind of screw off most of the time and make a few sales, and I can go play golf on Thursdays and Fridays. And they're attracted to that kind of half-ass mentality, but I can still make some scratch.
Yeah. And to be honest, dude, I'm okay with those agents.
Sure.
I just have one rule with those. They can never complain.
Right.
You want to be here and be lazy? I don't care. I used to. It used to drive me mental, dude. But now I'm like, all good. I don't care. Just you can't complain because it's going to be inconsistent and suck forever. You know what I mean? So I do think there's a stigma to it. It's easy entry, as you know. You basically roll out of bed and get a license. Right. It's not that deep. They make it. It's if I have insurance, mortgage, and real estate license. Insurance was easier than the first question in either of the other two to get, as y'all know.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's easy entry. It's high upside, 1099. And just based on the way the industry is, it's like roles are reversed where agents get to interview companies traditionally, because so many people are whoring themselves out to attract agents that it's kind of flipped.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what's allowed us to grow a lot is I don't do that. I had someone literally yesterday be like, hey, can I come to your team? So-and-so, I don't like working with them, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know about that. We have some criteria first. We're gonna have to make sure you're a good fit. They were like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, I have to make sure you're a fit for me.
Yep.
And I turned him down yesterday. I turned someone down yesterday. That's in the business, already licensed, already selling, didn't like who they work with, which to me is an immediate turnoff.
Right.
And dude, 10-minute, not even. And to be honest, I sent the conversation to someone else. And I'm like, yo, screen this person, see if they'd be a good fit for our team. You know me, you know the team, whatever. He was like, the longer I talked, the more I didn't want to work with him. I'm like, tell him no. So we told him no. You know what I mean? And that mentality of me being able to make a bunch of money selling by myself allowed me to say no to a lot of people, you know, and I only wanted to work with people who wanted to do as much for their family as I did for mine. You know what I mean? I wanted that mentality. They didn't need to be perfect because I wasn't. They didn't need to be an elite sales because I wasn't. But they needed to, you know, be coachable and do the shit they said they would do. And if you give me that, the sales side is honestly, it's easy. That's the easiest piece, to teach someone how to sell. I mean, dude, I watched your intro. I wish it's been like a year, but when I watched your like how to sell Medicare, what you did with the car, that you got the little whatever color car, that little script you did, I was like 7 minutes. I'm like, yo, I could sell Medicare now. You know, you made it so simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, I feel the same way on life, even though I didn't understand your business model at all. I feel the same way on my side, you know? So I again, there is a stigma. It's a very weird industry for sure from that standpoint. So I think protecting your own integrity as an agency and a person trying to grow and build people is more important, you know, making sure you know who you want to work with and who you are as a person. Like, I know who I am. I had to learn that, and I had to learn what's a fit for me, you know, and not everybody is. Not everybody can handle that. Not everybody likes my leadership style. Granted, I had to learn how to adapt to different personalities, but still not everybody was a fit, man. And, you know.
Yeah, I see this question. It comes up in the Facebook groups all the time. Like, hey, who's the best FMO for me to work with?
God.
Right.
Dude,
I hate that question, but it's going to get asked by newer agents. I mean, granted, it's just part of the thing.
Yeah.
Once they realize they have to put their contracts with the broker, FMO, or agency, the first question they ask is like, hey, who's the best FMO? And then you see everybody arguing over, and
that's why I leave those groups.
I always tell them the same thing. I'm like, interview yourself first.
Yeah.
Look inside yourself. What are all the things you think you need to be successful in this business that you cannot provide for yourself? Yeah. And then go find an FMO, broker, agency, mentor that can fill those gaps. That's who you should be working with, regardless of comp. For the most part, I mean, compensation should be fair based on that, but still, I'm always like, dude, figure out what your inefficiencies are. If it's sales training, it's sales training. If it's leads, it's leads. If it's just someone to kick you in the ass and tell you to go do more, then it's that. But go find that gap that you're missing. Don't just go sign up with an FMO because they have flashy ads and a great looking pen on paper.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do for you?
I've always struggled, man, with those. I'm not the only insurance group I'm in is y'all's. I literally, with everything inside of me, can't stand any of them because of the bickering and y'all see it. I can't mentally, I can't function. And then you see people who say that, and you see all the recruiting frenzy that happens to that person. And
I know.
I'm like,
RIP to their DMs.
Now they're just as confused.
Yep.
I'm like, well, first of all, the person posting the question has so little confidence in their ability, they're going to believe random strangers on the internet who bitch about everything. Right? You read one of those posts and there's 75 comments with 75 different opinions, all saying they're the best and I'm the worst. And I'm like, how is this helping the industry? How's it helping the agent who asked the question? How's it helping you as like you're drooling from the mouth over one random person who, you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, that's stress. It gives me anxiety now. You know, but then I always go like, when people believe that, I like when I would get calls. Yesterday, I had people this week like, I mean, there's the thing with FFL. I've heard. I'm going, dude, you don't think I read the internet?
Right.
Hey,
right.
Do me a. This is what I do to everyone who's ever said that. I say, Google your religion. You believe in that pretty heavily, but the idiots on the internet will say it's the worst.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be in business. Y'all have lawsuits. Dude, you go to Walmart every day. You know how many they're in? You know what I mean? Like you drive a Ford. They're in 40 lawsuits. Like what does that have to do with anything?
Right.
And people's criteria for finding a place, I don't know, dude. I think there's some more deep-rooted like stuff to it where people are trying to find a reason why they can't have success. Honestly, dude, I think there's something there they're trying to validate why things don't work. But as you and I have talked about before, and I say it from stage all the time, every company, every IMO, all of them have millionaires.
Yep.
So like the model, hate the model, who cares? They all work.
Well, I think, we're actually going, this is a perfect segue into kind of like what the questions that we have for you, John. And obviously, Tony wanted to kind of hear your insights on this, but everything that we're sitting here talking about, it's ultimately, people failing, but then like it is, I think in our seat that we're sitting in our values and our beliefs, it's some part of that is our responsibility to help educate, right? And to help lead. And I love all your new content and everything you're putting out, John. It's freaking gold. I mean, I see you back on stage and you're getting back out there. So I think you're taking this back on where it's like, dude, let me show these people how to freaking win in the industry and not, reinvent the wheel here. And I think you do a great job with that. But I want to actually open it up, and I'm very curious to hear your response to this question. And it's very broad and general for a reason. So it's open-ended. I can't wait to see where you go with it. But basically, again, y'all, we're talking about just winning in insurance. And there's a few things that we're going to kind of break down and go through here through the remaining of the call. But really, the first question I have is basically defining what it means to win in insurance. And so I'll give you just a little bit of an example on that. For me, I'm all about leaving a lasting legacy and making an impact. Like that to me is winning in insurance. I don't go like, well, it's going to be this, or if I hit this certain dollar amount or this. I know that if I leave a lasting legacy and make an impact, all the rest of the little bullet points and the stuff, all that stuff will follow, right? If I'm doing that. So that for me is winning, is really changing this industry for the better, right? Leaving it better than when I started in here, right? Which is crazy. I've been in 10 years now, which you wouldn't look, it looks like I'm a freaking baby, especially because I just shaved too. I don't even have my neck beard. They're like, that dude, he looks like he's freaking 18. It's like, no, I've been doing it for a decade. And I got a lot of time to go, right? And so what are the things that I'm doing, to again, leave that lasting legacy? Because that to me is my win. So John, define what it means to win in insurance.
Man. Dude, I think it's different for everybody. If you want that vague an answer, right? I think, and that's okay. I remember someone that commented on one of my posts about working 40 hours. She was like, I made 300 grand working 10 hours a week, 15 hours a week. And I was like, cool. Happy for you. High five. But do you know if you worked 40, you could have made 900? I mean, I'm just curious if you can wrap your head around that, and would that help your situation? I don't know. Maybe you don't care about that, because if you don't, I don't. You know what I mean? So I think everybody gets to define their own version of winning, and I think for myself, it's definitely evolved, and that answer's changed 900 times in the 12 years I've been doing this.
Yep.
Today it's somewhat similar. I mean, at the beginning, it was very selfish. It was all about me. How much money I could make. I was trying to get out of a job. I was trying to pay the bills. I had a lot of financial specific goals. And it was very focused on that. I wanted to build the agency for me and my override so I can make X amount of money and stop selling. Like, it was very me focused. And when I started making, 400 or 500 grand a year selling, I was like, what's crazy, dude, is the people that helped me get there. Like the mentors that I had in the business that really changed the way I looked at things. When I started hitting those new income goals and they got to see the things I was able to do with my kids differently, dude, they were more excited than I was. It was wild. And I'm like, why is this dude so excited? Like when Maddox hit his home runs this week, we posted it. Obviously, if y'all watch my social, I was like play by play, dude. I had the time of my life there. So I post it. And my buddy Dominique Rogers calls me. He's a baseball player. He played at NC State. He got like a scholarship to, I think it was Miami, but he got cancer really young. And he has a crazy story. Great baseball player, grew up with no money, family issues, couldn't, and wanted to go to Cooperstown, financially couldn't. I mean, he just grew up in a bad situation. Dude, he called me. And he was 10x more excited that Maddox hit a home run in Cooperstown than I was. Like, I recorded it. And he's like, dude, it looked like you had a gimbal. You were so steady. You didn't scream. There was no emotion. I recorded the whole ball go out. I recorded him run the bases. Like I was excited inside. But Dom was more excited for my moment and Maddox's moment than I was. And I remember when I first started having success, it felt the same way relative in insurance, where the people around me were more excited for the things I was able to do for my family. And I was excited, but they were more outwardly excited, and I was like, I want that feeling. What I see from them, I want, and I changed my whole motto literally to this day is help people get paid. That's it. Help people get paid. The rest will work out. If I can help people get paid, things work out for me. You know what I mean? And it just, that's been so simple for me to just help people get paid. My staff, if you ask Amanda, be like, hey, what's y'all's role? She'll go help people get paid. That's it. And so for me today, I'm trying to do that in the industry. I've done it in my agency. I've done it at FFL. I've done it at an integrity level. I've done it certainly somewhat in the industry through the events and things like that. But now the main focus is like, how can I be a massive impact no matter where you work, no matter what you sell? You know what I mean? Because the principles are the same.
Right.
And so now I'm trying to go like, all right, how can I expand my reach? Hence the content, the speaking. I'm expanding what I'm doing. Speaking of win, I'm going to promote my damn self right now. I love you both. Dude, we finished it yesterday. This is like a pre-edit version.
Yeah.
But the actual formal version, we finished editing yesterday, and we're going to launch it at 8%.
Dude, awesome, bro.
I dig it.
That cover is freaking sick.
Get better later. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like literally what I was just talking about. Do more now, get better later. Like, you know what I mean? And so I go through the whole story, all the stuff. And the purpose of it is like, how can it impact more people? And we're making the book so cheap. Like I make like $3 a book. There's no money in it. It's literally, but I'm like, how can I get to more people? We're going to send out like 1,000 copies to high level people free. Just here, have it out. Because I want people to see the story. And certainly I'll learn how to monetize it. That will come by mistake, even though it's intentional, and so that's it today, dude. And I think it'll evolve and change forever. Cause what I've learned, man, the more money I make and the more quote unquote success I have, honestly, dude, the more I learn how little I make and how unsuccessful I am. And people always go, the comparison thing is bad, but dude, I'm a rounding error to a lot of people. The guy who acquired my agency, I'm literally a rounding it. Like we do 250 million this year. Dude, they're going to do, I don't know, 30, 40 billion. I don't know their number. They did 25 billion last year.
Right.
So I'm literally a decimal to a guy. You know what I mean? So I just don't, that's why I just don't think and I'm not confused. We've done cool things.
Sure.
But
that's good to have that perspective, right? I mean, definitely comparison kills to some aspect, but you're not setting your win or fail rate based on that round error comparison. You're like, okay,
but I'm not satisfied yet. I'm happy as shit, but I ain't satisfied, dude. I got a long way to go.
Ooh, this is a perfect one for the second question. Then, the importance of winning in a competitive industry, and we can kind of cruise through this, but I think it's so important to be competitive in this industry, and to ultimately go out and get those wins. Because guess what? If you don't, there's 1,000 plus other freaking people who are going to. So, John, what's the importance of winning in this competitive industry? Like, what would be some things, maybe some tactics, some strategies that you would maybe give people to thrive?
Dude, I understand your question, but I'm gonna challenge it in some sense.
Go for it.
Because I don't think it's that competitive.
Okay.
Because I think if the concept is let me outwork the people around me, right? I think you'll naturally get more opportunity if you prospect more, right? And that's what this business is about, especially early.
Yeah.
Can you get a referral based business down the road? Sure. No one's walking in the door doing that. And if you are, you're an outlier. So I think if we go, the effort is the advantage. Dude, outworking the average insurance agent's really easy.
I literally did have in my note, the benchmark is low.
Dude, it's pathetic. Yeah. It's not even low. It's pathetic. I joke because I say it in a joking way, but I'm dead serious. The Walmart greeter that like 73-year-old guy that wears the yellow vest when you walk in Walmart, dude, he works more than the average agent, more hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like on money-making activity stuff.
Right.
And so for me, when I'm like, all I got to do is outwork the majority of people in my space, you know, and then all that does is get me in rooms with guys like you that are also outworking most people. Like I don't have to be number one. That's never been a thing for me. I don't care. You know what I mean? I just want to be in the top percentage.
Yeah.
And I can hang out with all the other dudes. I just want to be in a different room. You know what I mean? So I don't think this is competitive at all. I get why you say it, and I get the point, but I don't think there's that much competition, dude.
I tend to agree with you, especially in the new space I find myself. But I think, and you said it already, and I think Joe even said it, this whole statement and the importance of winning in a competitive industry, it comes down to what we said earlier. If you're ahead of the competition, you're just going to get more opportunities.
Yeah.
You're going to get to the market
100%.
faster. You're going to get to the leads faster. Things are going to fall in your lap accidentally because you're working and you're putting yourself in a place of being lucky. Right.
How many laydowns you get when you outwork people? You know what I mean? Like, again, you see, again, at the last event I was at, the sweet lady, and we talked, and I sometimes feel bad when I ask people questions and they walk themselves into a corner they didn't see coming. But I asked her how many presentations she made for the week, and she said 3. And I was like, well, how long is each one? She said 30 minutes. And I'm like, so 90 minutes all week prospecting? I mean, I'm not like trying to be an ass, but
right.
I mean, my response was, I feel bad, but I was like, I've peed longer than that this week.
The piss missiles.
It just came out of my mouth, and you know what I mean? But I meant it, and we talked after, and I'm like, I don't mean to be rude, but 90 minutes presenting in a sales position
for a week's worth of work.
And again, granted, it was Thursday, right? So maybe it was 4 or 5 days in, but still, I'm like, and her question was, I've been stuck at the same income level for 3 years. I'm like, okay, let's go through your numbers. All right, now I know why you're stuck. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like if you present 20 hours this week, which is still not full time.
Still not much.
You know what I mean? I'm like, do you know how many laydowns you get? Whereas if you present for 90 minutes, you're probably not getting any laydowns. You know, do y'all watch that dude? Ryan Serhant. Do you know who that is? $1 million listing. $1 million listing. He's on social. He's phenomenal. He just came out with his own show. It's like Selling Manhattan or Owning Manhattan or something. It's a spinoff. It's a real estate sales show. And they get all these real estate agents and they sell high-end real estate. Multi-million dollar, 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, $50 million homes and condos in New York and stuff. This dude, Ryan Serhant's content is fire. And he had a meeting with his group of agents on this week's episode. And I don't watch hardly any TV, but I watch this show because it's like, we sell. And he's like, I only want high performing salespeople here. If you want to be mediocre, leave and go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I can relate. Like, why would you want anything else? If all we got was AI automated, I barely work, let me take laydowns on the phone 3 times a week. You know, I can hire some for $12 an hour to do that and keep all the spread. Like, people are going to figure that out.
Right.
You know, but if you're an elite salesperson and you go out and you prospect and you create opportunity for yourself, do you know how much you're wanted and needed then in an environment, in a business? You know what I'm saying? It's like you stand out a lot.
That's high value. It
is 100%. You know, one of my favorite things he says when it comes to, as you know, most people don't like reach out to leads enough or do follow-ups with clients. And, you know what I mean? They don't maintain their business very well. His motto is, I follow up until they die.
Yep.
That's my kind of dude.
Till they, they either die or they tell me to F off. And even then I'm coming back in 12
He follows up till they die.
Yeah.
And he gives multiple stories where he's like, dude, I followed up with this guy every 2 weeks for 7 years. And he got a divorce. And I was top of mind because I reached out so much. He had to sell, and he sold like a $40 million condo. And the wife that got divorced bought like a $10 million. He made 7 years of follow-up and he made commission on $50 million.
Right.
And it's like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, you just made some really good points there because you're talking about one, you said content. You talked about going out and creating opportunity. And I kind of wanted to pivot here to our second point, which is basically strategies for winning in insurance. And the first one being developing a strong brand and reputation. For me, a lot of you guys have seen my House of Dreams, and one of the components is the sailboat, right? Where the persona, that's your brand, right? It's what everybody sees. It's what's above the water. And everybody sees me freaking everywhere. I got a persona out the freaking ass, man. Like, and again, your persona is directly associated to your skill set. But the most important part of the sailboat, right? So we've got the brand, but what's my reputation like, right? Am I out here pitching the dream, selling the dream? Oh, like everybody's like walking or freaking praising the ground that I'm walking on, and then it turns out I'm a douchebag, right? Or I cut corners, or I screw people over, or things like that. It's the keel of the sailboat. It's the most important part of the freaking boat, and nobody even knows what it's called nor what it does, but it's literally the thing that keeps it afloat from flipping over, right? And that is your reputation. So John, talk a little bit about the importance. Obviously you're, showing your book, which we did have somebody drop in the comments. I don't know if maybe Amanda's tuning in on this, or guys, Austin, we'll circle back to you. He was asking for a copy of the book on how we'd be able to. So we'll circle back to that towards the end of the show, guys, just to make sure you get that. But John, what's the importance? And Tony, I want you to talk about this too, because obviously in y'all space and what you and Grace are doing, like your brand is crazy important. But I know also in that demographic, that reputation is freaking everything, right? When it comes to just the referrals and everything that can pour in your space there. So John, talk a little bit about the importance of developing a strong brand, but ultimately backing that with a good reputation.
It's funny, man. I heard when I was new in the business, this was probably 10 years ago. It's probably 2014. One of my mentors told me, he was like, they were trying to teach me what mine was, right? Because I was trying to recruit, and a lot of people were leaving me, like a lot. I say a lot. I wasn't hiring a lot, but the percentage was a lot because it was all of them. And he said, reputation is neither true or false. It's just what a bunch of other people think.
Mm-hmm.
And my reputation was that I was an asshole to people. You know what I mean?
On point.
Yeah. That's what they felt, dude.
Right.
But here's the thing. Inside, I don't feel ill will towards people when I'm speaking direct. Right. When people, we have a friend group we're in, and we go to a country club, and we hang out, and one of the waitresses was like, you intimidate me. And I'm like, why? And she goes, you sit there like, in your face. Just, I was afraid, but we talk all the time now. But she's like, the first time you intimidate me. And then one of the friend couples that we have, she was like, yeah, at first, man, I thought you hated us.
No way.
Like, and she goes, but then we just had to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I have to work on it too. Like, the initial, whatever the reception is from the jump, people think I'm intimidating and that's there. But dude, inside, I want people to win so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm emotional inside. I'm not like outwardly emotional, and so early on I had to learn what my reputation was, and I had to be very intentional about changing it because I didn't like it. I'm good with being direct. Mm-hmm. I don't like that people felt I was being an asshole. Where in today's world, everyone thanks me for being direct because most people aren't direct with them. Right. You know what I mean? So I was able to slowly change the way it was viewed, and that was on purpose. And I just learned my delivery was poor. You know what I mean? And the way I got to the answer was poor. I didn't take time to ask enough questions. I didn't help lead people to where I wanted them to go. I was just punching them in the face. So I had to work on that. When he told me that, I'll never forget it, that reputation is neither true or false. It's just what other people think.
Yeah.
Right. Which ultimately is your brand, which I think
correct.
Because of how you shifted and how you speak on stage and how direct you are, it's like, boom, now my whole reputation shifted. Yep. Yeah.
So then I read this book from John Maxwell, 5 Levels of Leadership. Y'all ever read it?
I've not read that one.
So good, dude. It's so good. And it teaches you from level 1 to 5 what other people view you as. It's not what you are. I'm not a 1 or a 5 to everybody or anybody. To Joe off the street, I'm a 1. He doesn't know who I am. He doesn't care who I am. It does nothing. I do nothing for him. To some people that I've helped get wealthy, I might be a 4 or 5. You know what I mean? And I had to learn that person to person. It's kind of like almost like the inverse of the color thing. You know, the color thing is who you are, where the 1 to 5 is who you are in someone else's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, holy moly, that perspective is different. So I have to be intentional with each individual person and earn their trust and earn their respect and earn their, just like sales. Oh my God, we're in sales all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to be intentional always.
Yes.
And so, man, I really started understanding that it's more about me. And I go like, FFL, cool. They have a brand, they have a rep, whatever it is. But why are we all one thing? Because I'm a different individual. So I really had to start working on who I am and who I want to be to other people. And for me, dude, I'm a guy that helps people make a bunch of money, and I'm really honest with them, and I give a lot of value. You know what I mean? And dude, one of the biggest things I hate about this industry by far is all the people who try to add value and they make no effing money and they pretend they make money and they put stuff on social about all the money they make and they're broke. It makes me mental. So I've decided I'm going after them because I make money and I can teach people how to make money. And I hate that they take money from people thinking they can be helped when they can't.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's one of the biggest pet peeves I have about the industry. It's because people are so hungry for information. Whoever puts the ad out, they pay. And I'm like, that fool ain't never made a dollar in insurance.
Right.
Or he quit insurance. Or you know what I mean? Like, I ain't mad that he's making money over here. More power to you. You know what I mean? So it's like I had to start working on the brand. For me, the brand is a dude that helps a bunch of people in the industry print money. That's what we're going to do. Yep. You know what I mean? And so every day it's like I put value out. I spend a ton of time doing videos and content and trainings and speaking. And dude, I've not charged for one thing in 12 years.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, maybe that's the mistake. Maybe people don't value it because I give it all out. Right. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I'm trying to figure that piece out, dude. And that's the evolution where I'm at now is like, how do I get to that next level of who I want to be in the industry? You know,
I've felt that. I'm kind of going through that, you know, myself as well. This is kind of a different experience. And I do want to come back to that for you. But it's basically, you know, onboarding and bringing on like 4 agencies from a captive company. I'm not going to name anybody. And typically, obviously, we have a large lump sum investment to join our company. And again, this is on the PNC side. So it's different. I do appreciate and like that because it does make people freaking cut their teeth. You know, if you're going to throw us, you know, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, I hope you work. And if not, thank you for the money, I guess. Right. But it's like these agents, like they don't even want to throw in $2,500 when I'm going to show them how to make that back on their first freaking sale. Yeah. And we're talking 4 agents. And I'm like, don't lose sight of the opportunity because of another offer or something out there. Right. And like kind of like what you were talking about, which again, I think it does go back to really branding. Tony, talk a little bit about kind of just obviously you guys do a ton of this and your reputation. Everybody knows who Merwin is and who Grace is. Like you have a killer reputation, but your brand is so important, especially in client facing, not even just talking with agents. Talk a little bit about that, just the importance of developing that strong brand and reputation.
It was important for us because we knew what we wanted to accomplish. Like from day one, we knew that we wanted a brand that the Latino community would remember and they would immediately know, like, and trust just from the brand name. The goal is to become quote unquote Walmart of the Latino insurance space, right? So that if someone's Latino and they think insurance or they think Medicare, one of the first words that pops in their brain is Avila. Like we wanted that goal from day one. And so we immediately just came out just acting like we were already that brand. We're already the biggest thing in Latino insurance. Like we just pretended that way and we pushed the brand out from day one. But I think that's going to differ from every agent. Not every agent wants to create that long-term vision, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I was shocked, and I've told the story recently on stage at the 7-Figure Summit, and I've told it a couple other times, but the difference in how I got introduced to insurance business versus the difference in how Grace got introduced to the insurance business is the whole reason Avila exists in the way that it does already. I got introduced to the business by a bald, fat guy with a comb over that sat in a maize-colored office with shit brown trim all over it. And they're like, here's a presentation book. Those are doors. Go get them. And that was all the mentorship, exposure, and education I got. I never really saw any level of success at a high level in insurance for quite a while in my career. Grace, on the other hand, the very first real introduction she gets to insurance, she gets to hang out with people like Wetmore, Justin Brock, Cody Askins, Galen Hendricks. She immediately meets the elite top 1% of the insurance industry, basically. So it infected her vision from day one. She knew immediately from day one that she can create something massive that affects change for her family in a different part of the globe. I did not have that because I wasn't exposed to it. I was like, I guess you just go bang on doors and you make 35% commission. Great, let's go. Build car tools at night because that's the only way I can pay my electric bill. So a little different there. So she had a massive vision when we started talking about it. So we're like, all right, if this is what we're going to do, then branding is going to be extremely important from that level. Looking at it from a different side, like Wetmore did, I mean, I spent 13 years in the wholesale industry working for Precision Senior Marketing as a wholesaler, but I didn't. If you asked anybody that worked with me during that tenure, they didn't say, oh, my contracts are with Precision Senior Marketing. They said, my contracts are with Merwin.
100%.
With PSM. He's over at PSM, my contractor with Merwin.
Yeah.
So they always knew me as the guy that's taking care of them, providing value, helping them out with their business. And certainly PSM was what backed me. So your reputation is huge. And just like John said, it's just a collective of what everybody else thinks of. And you want, don't be concerned about what people think of you to the point that you're stuck in your own brain, constantly worried about what people think of you, but understand that you want people to think well of you, or they're not going to refer you business. They're not going to send you clients. They're not going to give two shits about you. And if you're in a business that serves people, you need people to generally think you're a good person and that you mean well, and you have a good reputation as not as an ethical, honest, transparent person that genuinely likes people.
Dude, I think it's important from the agent standpoint too, not only from clients, right? Are you someone that takes care of your clients or someone that doesn't call them back? Or you know what I mean? Like, you know how many people have asked, do I write the check out to you? I'm like, nah, you write it to Mutual of Omaha. Back in the day when we used to get checks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but imagine you as an individual agent, what your reputation is to the person you want to be your mentor or the IMO or the FMO you work for. Are you the one that only shows up when you need something? Or the one that complains when things don't go your way, or bitches about whatever leads or whatever process or whatever comp or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, who are you to the people you're appearing to? And so many people want mentorship, but I'm like, dude, that's earned. And like, to some extent, like, yeah, if you hire someone, you should help them at the beginning. But dude, if you like show up barely once a week and you're negative all the time, like, I just don't think you deserve as much mentorship as the guy who's there every day and the guy that's positive and the guy that's coachable and the guy that's listening and you know what I mean? Like, willing to adapt and change. So there's always that reputation thing that's going to follow you everywhere you are. Yes. You know, and for me, I'm like, I'm going to be the guy that implements fast. I'm going to be the guy that takes feedback. Maybe I don't like it, but I'm going to do something about it if I don't like it. You know what I mean? And then when I implement stuff from someone, I'm going to let them know when it works and thank them for it. You know what I mean? And that model for me, dude, that's helped me gain so much.
For anybody that doesn't know, John's the guy that will also figure out the flights of the mentors that he's trying to get with and through their assistant, and then buy those plane tickets so he can sit next to them and just hear what they're talking about on the flights. So
that's pretty smart.
Bro, I still do that stuff to this day.
Yeah.
There's some people in the space of like personal branding and speaking and coaching that I follow. Right. So I go on, I did this last week. I go online, I see where the dude's speaking. I booked the highest level ticket there. And then I sent him a DM. I'm like, yo, I'm coming to the event. And the high level ticket gets me speaking also. Oh, yeah. So I get to speak on stage with the dude who I've been watching speak on stages. And now I get behind the scenes. I get more access. I get to go to dinner with, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, that model works. And I'll stand out because I paid 10 G's for it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I still use that same thing. I paid Bet David a bunch of money to get in his circle. I pay, you know what I mean? That works, dude. And I haven't always, I mean, I guess technically I paid for the flight and paid for the trip and the hotel in the story you're talking about, you know, but it's like, stand out, put yourself in situations, put yourself in the right. I told Amanda like 2 months ago, I'm like, yo, I'm going to get around that dude. She's like, I have no doubt. You know what I mean? And it's like, what? I'll do it. You do. I've seen you do it. some of the groups you're in. You know what I mean? It's like this, you can put yourself in situations.
Yep.
So
I'm literally doing that right now it's how I got around Stuman. Well,
And
one, it
Stuman,
was Andy
yeah,
Elliott, and then
Yep.
got in with Stuman, and I hit up Stuman because I wanted him on the podcast, and he's like, it's $5,000. He's like, but I do them for free for Apex members. And I was like, well, how much is Apex? He's like $3,000 a year. I'm like, bet, sign me up for Apex.
Save
Turns
2
out
G's and I'm in.
Like, in,
Yeah.
right on, dude. Do you real quick, just out of respect, John, do you have a hard stop, or can we go a little long? You good?
Nah, I don't have one till I think 12. Let me look. Hold on. I have a 12 o'clock.
Okay,
so I'm
cool.
good.
All right, I've just got a few other questions that I really wanted to ask you, but I wanted to respect your
Nah,
time. We're
you're
gonna go
good.
a little
Thank
bit long here today, guys, in Syndicate. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Tons of viewership, and shout out to Amanda. Thank you for dropping. Guys, check out the pre-order link in the comments. If you guys want to check out John's book, I would highly recommend it. I'm definitely going to hit that link and get a copy of that. And then I'm going to send it to John. I'm going to need like a signature or something, John, just so
Dude, are you going to 8% or no?
Me and Tony are still trying to figure that out.
Okay. I'll get you one either way, but I was going to say I'll see you there and I'll get you one.
Yeah.
But yes, 100%.
Well, so you were just talking about, we were just talking about strategies. And so one of the questions here within, again, strategies for winning in insurance as the topic is creating effective marketing and sales strategies. I think, marketing it's the name of the freaking game. And so sure. I wanted to share something real quick. This is specific to property and casualty folks. And then obviously, John or Tony, if you guys have anything specific more to the Life or Medicare crew, please, share that, or just things that you're seeing is helping people win when it comes to their marketing or strategies. But for me, for property and casualty, you guys probably know just as being a consumer, but for the agent, and I know there's a lot of us in here, it's a tough market right now. I view that as a great opportunity because the people that don't work, I'm eating up their freaking breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But how am I doing that? Because it is a hard market. There's no point for me to go out and get all this business if I can't, we can't write a lot of home insurance here in Texas, especially if it's not a new build or if it ain't a new roof. It's hard to find a carrier for it right now. So I wanted to share with y'all, it's my roof marketing program, and I won't necessarily get into all the details and everything, but I'll just give you the premise because it's really valuable. And it's a reciprocal relationship that creates repeat business for everybody. So basically I'm going out and connecting, and actually James, Wolfgang Kuntz is in here. I met him through Apex, which was through Stuman. And he works for Linear Roofing, and we're actually launching this with him, already getting referrals and stuff out of it. But basically you connect with a trusted roofer. I would talk to multiple roofing companies, guys, because there's a lot of not reputable. We're talking about reputation. There's a lot of not reputable roofing companies out there.
Yeah, buddy.
So again, vet some of them, right? Meet with people, obviously look at their reviews, all that good stuff. And then for me, basically I'm using my marketing tool, which is SalesPipe, to basically just run lists and pull data on neighborhoods where there's hail damage. And they're like, well, why would you do that? Because for me, we all know it. All the roofers, they're all out there door knocking. I freaking hate it when somebody makes my Great Dane bark and wake up my freaking kid after I just put him down for a nap. And you're the 10th one that's been at my freaking door. Like, come on, man. Like, but if there was maybe some type of appointment, right? Or maybe even if I knew the day and time that you were going to be coming to the house, that might, maybe make me more willing to open that door or speak with you. So I'm basically marketing to these certain zip codes or areas that there has been hail damage. And we're doing that through email marketing. We can even do physical mail that has a QR code on it to where, hey, here's who we are. We're going to be out in your area because there was damage, right? And so just, again, spreading awareness and letting people know who they are and that they're going to be out there, but ultimately allowing them to schedule the appointment at the time that's better for them, because guess what? They do have hail damage. They want a roofer to come out. They just don't want freaking 10 people knocking on their door. And it makes that conversation way easier when you say, hey, I've already got an appointment. So then I'm doing that, but in return, so that's free marketing. I'm just doing that for them. I'm sending lists out with name, numbers, emails, all that good stuff. But then in return, hey, every new roof you do, have them send it my way so that I can quote their insurance, because the claim, which in insurance, guys, P&C, it's all profitability. So the claim and the loss is on somebody else's book. Sorry if you're my competitor, but it's not on my book. So my profitability is still solid, right? And I get a new roof, so I can save them 20 to 30% on their freaking home, and the claims with somebody else. And then the last bit of it, and they're like, okay, that's beautiful. But then the roofer's kind of like, well, it seems kind of like better for you almost in a way, right? No, because what's the first thing that happens when, like, hey, a storm comes through, whatever? Call me first. Don't call the company, because you file the claim, you're going to get hit for it for 3 to 5 years, depending on the loss. So then now I've created repeat business for the roofer. hey, hold on, don't file anything. Let's make sure there's actual damage. You remember the guy that just did your roof 2 years ago? I'm going to send him back out. So now he's got repeat business. He's not losing business to a door knocker. So again, that was very PNC specific, but it's a beautiful freaking marketing program. Again, I call it my roof marketing program. Feel free to message me. I can drop you the flyers and stuff. I use it, but definitely you want to drive them into an in-person event. And so I'm definitely finding some success with that. So let me know if you guys need that. And then obviously outbound efforts. I'll let you maybe kind of talk about that, John. But for me, it's the 1, 2, 3. It's 100 dials a day, 2 hours talk time, 3 quotes a day. 2 out of the 3 got to be done minimum at every single day. So I'm sure you're outbound. I'm sure is huge for you too when it comes to your marketing and sales strategies. But
yeah, I mean, I think there's only a few options to get clients, right? You can cold prospect. You know what I'm saying? You can do some type of networking type deal, BNIs, things like that, which is a little warmer. You know what I mean? Or you can buy leads. I don't cold networking, buy them. I don't know another way to get referrals. You know what I'm saying? But to start, you can't get referrals till you have new business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, who do you want to be in the business is part of it too. You know, and again, if you don't have the money to buy leads, ain't mad. But why do you sit around all day and not prospect? I don't wrap my head around that. I didn't want to prospect. I'm not a meeting kind of guy. Now I go to a lot of meetings today, but especially when I got started, I'm like, I'm not going to have donuts with a guy at a thing to ask. I'm not built for that. I'll buy them. So I built everything I have on buying the leads and working referrals and things like that. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean you can't go out and you can definitely cold prospect. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can go after mortgage people. It's a good referral for insurance agents. Real estate people, good referral source for insurance agents. PNC agencies who don't do life or only have a product or two. CPAs. I mean, are you out there prospecting potential referral partners? That's not hard to do in any industry.
Right.
You know, and when you're in there doing financial inventory, you know how many people need I'm moving here, or oh, my interest rate is this, my mortgage payment's this, or hey, I haven't done my taxes. You know how often those things came up in presentations and how easy it would be to send people out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
True.
And again, I'm so simple. I'm like, if you take Chase's sign, turn it around and take the black Sharpie and write, I sell life insurance. You hold it outside in traffic long enough, you'll get some calls.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the mortgage business back in the day, I was in like 06, 07, right before everything crashed. I had this SUV, and on the back of it, I had in bright yellow, those like the little like cutout where you can put words, your name, your phone number. I don't know what it's called, but the little cutout things. It said honk if you need a mortgage, and it had my cell phone number. Dude, I got calls. I got honked at all day, every day. And I got calls nonstop. And it was the dumbest thing ever, but it worked. And I stole it there was a billboard local next to an apartment complex that said like, honk if you need a new apartment or something. It was like corn. I'm like, I'm stealing that. And I put it like, dumb stuff works too. It's how many eyeballs can you get in front of, how many conversations can you have, and how much opportunity can you create for yourself? You know, and again, leads is an option too, but it sure shouldn't be the only option. And again, not that you can't make a great living with it, but
made a really good point on I think a lot of people, when they think of prospecting, they think of just prospecting to their clients and not prospecting to the referral partners that ultimately are going to give you a higher intent, higher closing ratio freaking client. Right. So I love that you said that, because I hope y'all heard that. You have to the referral partners, just like the clients, don't just freaking walk up your freaking doorstep, man. And if they do, it's an outlier, right? Like earlier. But it's like,
I didn't get any leads this week.
Right.
All right. How many PNC companies did you call this week? How many mortgage people did you call this week? How many, what's her name? God, I'm having a brain fart. I had her on the podcast a few weeks ago. She tracked her numbers and went to like some obnoxious, like 450 networking meetings her first year.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
Aaron. Was it Aaron? I know she did a bunch.
I feel bad if she's watching. I'm terrible with I do this with everybody, so don't take it personal. Amanda will type it in. She'll know. If she's watching, she'll know.
Yeah.
Who am I talking about, Amanda? She was on podcast a few weeks ago. Anyway, sells health insurance. And that she went out and literally like an obnoxious number of networking events.
Mm-hmm.
But at every one, she's like, at every one, I met like 12 people, and that's 9,322 people. And over the course, you know what I mean? Like it works out.
Yep.
You know, so again, I just, when people sit around and they bitch, I'm like, really? The only way you're willing to get business is if you buy the lead. I had someone go like, what leads do you have that have the best conversion ratio? I'm like, you're fired. I don't want to work with you. Stop it. You know what I mean? What's the closing ratio on that lead? Cut it out. You know what I mean? Like, I just think that, and I get why people are asking, but the mentality behind the question is just poor thinking.
They're asking it incorrectly. The correct question should be, what is my closing on those leads?
What's the average agent make? That's what you want out of life?
Right.
The average agent quits. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Bad question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, yo, what's the best agent make there? I want to know that number. In fact, hey, how much do you make there? I like that number.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I agree on that. Do you have any last points on that before we go to the next one there, Tony?
Well, I mean,
and then we'll get ready to wrap up. I don't want to keep you guys too long, but this has just been really good. So
ultimately, it's a simple business, man. Get a lead, call the lead, close the lead, make money.
Boom.
Right? That's really all the business is. We overcomplicate it with all these strategies and high-tech stuff that we can do. But ultimately, marketing gets you in front of people. The more effective it is, the more people you're going to get in front of. Sales strategies is going to help you close business. The more effective it is, the more business you close.
Yeah.
It's honestly that simple. Don't overthink it, but I tell most agents, like, what kind of marketing should I be doing? I'm like, ultimately, your marketing should probably match up with your type of sales. Are you a phone person? Do you want to close business by phone, or do you want to close business by face-to-face sits? Like, you want to kind of look at marketing that's going to help you in both arenas there, or in the right arena. But whether it's just like John said, man, whether you want to go cold knock doors and just meet people cold and develop business, or you want to buy hot leads, or you want to run Facebook, it doesn't matter. They're all ways to get you in front of people. Pick the one and learn one that you're good at that's going to match up with your sales strategy and fit your style. One of my friends in the industry, now I'm having a blank too. I
don't feel so bad. It happens to all of us.
Mississippi. Why can't I think of her name? She built her entire business, and she is killing it. She's a 7-figure earner, but she built her entire business just walking around Tupelo, Mississippi, knocking on doors, going, "Hey, who do you know needs health insurance in this house?"
Yep.
And did it over and over and over. And that's the key. Over and over and over. Let me say that again. Over and over and over and over again. It's a frequency thing. You have to put in high volume on that front end to get what you need in the back end. And as we've already hit from the beginning of this call, your sales skills will get better. Your numbers will improve over time, as long as you're a good student and you're honest with yourself as well.
Makes me think about Ryan Wimmer. I don't know if you know Wimmer at all, John. You may have met him. I met him a couple of times at 8%. Him and his wife Alicia.
Yep.
Door to door to the day, 4 years, and is very freaking successful, man. So and I think I wanted to say that because it's like what John. It doesn't have to be the whole AI automated geo-fencing circle prospecting tool that Joe uses. Blah 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 blah. You can go knock on a fucking door and make some money, man. And so just do what works, but ultimately maybe try a couple things to see what works. Right? Learn, do, review, and I think that's super important. Let's go. I want to go to the next point here. John's gonna love this one. You're gonna be like, dude, you're gonna just keep saying the same thing. He's like, what are these stupid questions? But it is important, and it does speak somewhat to the property and casualty side. It being a hard market, which I know it is still impacting the life insurance side because of inflation, because of budgets, because of people's costs and expenses going up. I'm sure that we're probably seeing a little bit more chargebacks or turnover on that side simply because of the economy. I know Medicare is changing every freaking hour. But I think, it's overcoming challenges in the industry and basically discussing some common challenges in this industry, which is like regulatory changes, evolving customer needs, obviously the hard market. And for me, I'll go real quick on this. And then maybe, Tony, if you want to kind of speak to it, and then John, you kind of close us out on it. We hinted on it a little bit earlier. The hard market is good, man. Like I said, I mean, literally, and especially for new agents, and it really pisses me off. Because people come to me, and obviously I do a lot of recruiting on the property and casualty. I speak to a lot of freaking agents. You know, Joe, I don't know though, man, because all the other people I was talking to said this is probably the worst time ever to get into property and casualty. And I'm like, they're idiots, because this is the best time to get in, because when I can help you find success in this hard market, and then by Q4 it opens back up, dude, the rest is going to be freaking cake, man. And so I view the hard market really as a good opportunity because, again, how low the freaking benchmark is. Like, the standard is wild to me. People literally call and like, we'll get more business, or even we'll be more expensive because we always pick up our phone. Like, literally, like, man, you guys always pick up your phone. It's like, I mean, you are my freaking client and you do pay me my residual streams of income. Like, you think you'd just be able to pick up your phone, maybe not do the work or anything, but at least pick up your phone, y'all. And that, for us, a hard market is, I'm illegal not to have. So again, that's more on the PNC side, but it's like, dude, you guys just got a pay increase. So you just may need to talk to a little bit more people to have a higher closing rate. But I view the hard market as a good thing, man, because there's a lot of people that ain't willing. I'm seeing it a lot, John. It's pretty crazy how many PNC guys are exiting. I mean, just straight up selling their book because they're like, man, we ain't never seen a market like this. And they're used to just sitting on those renewals. And it's like, they can't do it. Everybody is shopping right now. So again, for somebody who is new, all you need to do is literally pick up the phone and call them. I guarantee you 75% of who you talk to, their agent hasn't called them, or they called them and it's been 2 months and they already renewed at a 50% rate increase and they're pissed off and all these things. So the hard market is good, guys, and it is going to open up. What are your thoughts on that, Tony, when it comes to like the regulatory changes and everything that you guys have going on in Medicare?
It's one of those things that you have to, it's incumbent upon you as the professional in your industry to stay on top of it. Number one. Does it create challenges? Absolutely. And we're seeing a lot of the same thing. Like, we're seeing guys in the Medicare space starting to exit, guys that have been around a while. They got a good book and they're like, I don't want to deal with this new crap, the way it's going, the new regulatory changes, the downward pressure that's happening. The industry's changed. It's not like it used to be. And we are seeing some guys get out, but at the same token, we're seeing guys absolutely blow up faster than I've ever seen people blow up in this industry. So it's ultimately just on you to evolve with the industry and kind of stay ahead of it. The truth is that anytime there is a massive challenge in any industry, there is always a giant breakthrough and opportunity for the people that are willing to wade through the mud, right? Take on some of the extra challenges and go tackle it. Just because you have to evolve as the industry and the business evolve. And if you don't, you're going to find yourself either failing or getting pushed out anyway. And I'm going to reference something that my buddy Jared Strock posted on LinkedIn today. And it kind of addresses this pretty point on. But he says there used to be an old way of selling Medicare products. Get as many leads as possible, submit as many applications as possible, and don't worry about retention. And I remember, because that was my day when I was selling in the field, because there was only one product that a Medicare person could really buy, and that was a Medicare supplement plan. It's auto-renewable. It's guaranteed renewable. It's an easy product. It's the Ron Popeil of insurance. Set it and forget it. So the only thing I ever had to do was send him a birthday card every year, and that was my retention strategy, because the business just doesn't fall off the books. It really doesn't. Here's the new way to sell in the Medicare industry. Analyze data to find the most efficient lead source. Focus on cohorts with the best lifetime value and CAC, customer acquisition cost. Put a spotlight on retention. So the Medicare space has changed when it comes to sales, because we spend a lot more time handling retention, because it is a more competitive space. It is evolving very rapidly right now. And there is a rumor going around, according to research, that as many as 48% of Medicare beneficiaries will need to make a plan change this year due to the regulatory changes and the changes in plans. So
that's
it is
a
going
lot
to
of
be a
freaking
massive
people, man.
It's not that many. It's like 28 million. It's not that many people. So there's a massive opportunity for agents that are willing to recognize that and go get it. So agents are saying, oh, wow, I hear this is a really bad time to get into the Medicare space because of all the regulatory stuff, all recording and the this and the that and the yada, yada, yada. I'm like, you're looking at it the wrong way, bro. There's a bunch of lazy agents out there that aren't going to be willing to go retain their clients, or they're not going to go after them. A brand new agent I could bring into this business right now, get him ready for this AEP. He'll turn the corner with probably 100 new clients in his book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
John, what you got on that, man?
I remember when I got out of the mortgage business, when I was in it, I didn't do a really good job at like what Tony said about learning my profession in a way. I was in a very niche. All I did was like the subprime, 0 down, 100% investor loans, no doc loan. You know what I mean? And the whole thing that went away. And so when that crashed, I didn't know anything about like regular mortgages, if you will. I didn't know anything about Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, just standard mortgages. So I got out of it, as did a lot of people. And man, the ones that stayed in it got effing wealthy when that next refi boom came. You know what I'm saying? I always think about that. You know, I mean, I'm fortunate I ended up where I ended up because of that. But at the same time, I'm like, whoo, the ones that stuck through it, holy moly, because there was so much less competition when the upswing came.
Right.
You know, and so at 8%, I'm my talk is based, funny enough, on change. And so I'm doing a stage and have a couple breakouts and stuff. And, you know, we, one of the things, if you don't mind, I'm also, for those some people that want to go that can't go, dude, I'm giving away a bunch of free tickets too. Cool. So if you go to my social, you can see them. Super easy to get. There's like no catch at all other than just sharing my shit. So
if you want to drop that in the comments too.
Yeah. But at the premise of the talk, I have this sign that sits in my office, and it's important to me, and I think about it a lot. And it says, are you so afraid to lose that you're willing to change? Or are you so afraid of change that you're willing to lose?
That's good.
That one stings a little.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think, man, the most important thing I've learned in this business is you got to keep your head on a swivel. You should expect change because it's always going to come. It's never going to stop changing, you know, because there's smart people out there. And there are people who want certain things. And in this case, whatever the politics are behind the changes, you know what I mean? Like people influence change, good ways, bad ways, up, down, whatever, you know? And like, if you think about the evolution, when I got started, direct mail was huge. Mortgage protection was a huge thing. To get a direct mail mortgage lead today is like, bro, what? And then it went to Facebook leads. Dude, that changed. Not that you can't get them, but it changed because everyone went and they aren't as hot as they once were. Direct mail isn't as hot as it once was. You know what I mean? Like you have to adapt. So for me, I've learned, man, the ones that do the best just keep their head on a swivel and they expect the change, which makes it easier to adapt to because it's not so shocking.
Right.
You know, so for us, we're always looking to change. And if I can be part of the change, I like that a lot too. If I can influence some change and be ahead of the curve a little bit, you know what I mean, to see things coming. And I don't think I'm ever going to invent anything amazing, but I can watch change leaders, thought leaders, and go like, ooh, something's happening there. Like the shift to IULs. You know what I mean? Like that's been a big change over the last year.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's been huge. We issued like $3 million last month in IUL business because we saw that come. It's like, ooh, let's change our marketing.
Yep.
Where some people are still bitching they can't get mortgage leads. I'm like, oh my God, I want to punch you. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, some people think they're going to ride into the sunset and retire on IUL leads by nodding to a stupid IUL video on the internet and going viral by mistake. Dude, that's not going to happen in the next couple of years. Is it correct? Like it's the dumbest. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's past.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
Like I'm like, God, it's too late. You missed that one.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like there will be new stuff in all of our industries, in every industry. You know, I think when people get frustrated by it, they're just looking at it the wrong way. And for me, it's always created so much opportunity, you know, now that I understand it, because I did make that same mistake in the mortgage industry, you know, where I was one of the ones that bailed.
There's a huge lesson to be learned there, y'all, is also learning from the changes in the past, right? Not necessarily dwelling in them or, you know, like, I guess it really helps you anticipate, or even like for me, when this PNC, like we had already kind of started to see like carriers are pulling out of states. I mean, I've never seen anything like that before. And it was like, well, dude, let's just go into trucking. Like nobody's canceling trucking shit. Like if anything, there's still like 20,000 truckers trying to apply for their DOT every 60 days. Like, let's go more on to trucking.
Yeah.
And it's been such a huge benefit for us. So I think it's important to stay caught up on the trends, but also, you know, I love that you said to expect that change. This will not be the last time that our property and casualty market turns upside down. I guarantee y'all. Now, it may be another 10, 15 years, but what's going to be crazy is like, I saw it coming 10 years ago. I knew it was something that's going to come back, right? But it's a perfect segue, and then I'll wrap us up because I know we're taking a lot of your time, man, and I do appreciate it. This has been freaking amazing, as always, by the way. But it's talking about learning from those who are doing it. Is kind of the last bit. It's trying to highlight success stories, and so I'll kind of just go through the 3 bullet points. And John, I would kind of love if you could just kind of close us out. I think you're I guess a good role model, in the lack of a better term here, regarding like mentorship and learning from others, but ultimately implementing it. And so it's find someone who has experienced success in the insurance industry, and ask them to share their story. And I have my notes on it. Just learn from those who have freaking done it. I think so many people, I was just having this conversation, and it may have been on the podcast where, dude, I'll tell you right now, if you message me, if you message Tony, if you message John, a question needing help in your business, we'll freaking answer, dude. And we'll share our story or our failures, right? Which ultimately could lead you to success, so you don't do what we did. And then it's also their strategies and key factors contributing to their success. My note on that is shut up and listen. If they're going to tell you the strategies and what they did to find success, don't talk. Just let them freaking talk, right? And then take advantage of the lessons and the advice, which is the one word I have there is work and implement. It's just, you got to just implement it, right? I think we go to the conference, we're talking a lot about 8% and just events in general. Dude, people will go and learn, and they'll listen, maybe because they're a little too scared to speak up, but they'll at least listen, right? But then they don't take any of it home with them, or they do, and it just sits in their freaking cabinet in their little notebook where they took all the notes, and they don't actually implement anything. So again, I think it's super important to go and find those to figure out, hey, who has had success and what you're trying to achieve, learn from them, shut up and listen, and then implement it. John, obviously, I know you talk about that a lot, and just kind of, your thoughts on that. I still want you to share them. I know your thoughts on that, but what are your thoughts on just, again, mentorship and the power of listening and implementation?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's where it's at. None of us are going to create anything new in this industry, statistically. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, we're certainly not going to create anything new in sales or the psychology of people or communication. The stuff's already out there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And how to sell any type of insurance is already out there, where everyone's already doing it.
Right.
And it's like, I see so many new people, like, man, they try to, like, as you say, reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? I'm like, why are you Googling best lead company and then buying from a dude on LinkedIn from India?
Right.
I don't, like, really? And then the thing that I try to help people understand, man, is like, when you're struggling, one, and I teach this to Maddox, man. He's so competitive. I love it. He gets so angry when he doesn't perform at the level he expects of himself. But I also get frustrated at the same time because in the emotion, he loses an opportunity to learn from that mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I'm like, dude, I'm fired up. You're pissed. But I'm so mad that you just keep making the same mistake over and over again. I need you to slow down and let's analyze the mistake and let's get some coaching, and don't analyze it yourself. You are the one that made the mistake.
That's good.
Why do you think you know what you need? You know how frustrated I get when people call me and they're like, hey, I need help with phone script. Are you sure?
So
like, are you like they told themselves?
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean? And I again, it's one of those things. I get the point. I get why you're asking it, but so many people get tunnel vision and they aren't willing to take proper feedback because they think they know what they need help with. And I'm like, you are the one that effed it up. Why don't you go into it with an open mind and be like, hey, in your opinion, Mr. So-and-so who's making 6-7 figures, in your opinion, where do you think I need to change?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. How that question hurts, dude. But I have the ability. I got to work with Sean Mike early on. I mean, I still do, but early on, meaning he was taking one-on-one calls at the beginning of the company because there was no company.
Right.
So we used to do this call every Wednesday night. He would do this, get on my mentor Mike's team call, and he would get on and he would just open Q&A, with a guy who's now like wealthy. You know what I'm saying? But I used to always get on and I'd be like, hey, dude, what do I need help with? And dude, he would lay it on me. But so many people are afraid to ask it that way because the truth hurts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's hard for people to accept that they make mistakes.
Right.
By default, we want to deflect. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, if you can be willing to make mistakes, own that you make them, get feedback from someone who can guide you on what the mistake actually was, and then implement the suggestion on that mistake. Those 4 keys to mistakes are where the money's at. That's where the gold's at. Yep. That's where you find it. But so many people don't even want to own that they're not willing to make mistakes, and they're sure shit not willing to own they made them.
Yeah.
And so you don't get the fruit out of it. You know, so I teach Maddox, man, mistakes are good, dude. Let's go make a bunch of them. Now, repeated mistakes.
Yeah.
Your fault. That ain't smart. But to go make new mistakes, man, there's so much opportunity in that. You know, and again, I just wish people would use it the right way. And by doing the right things and earning the level of mentorship they want, you can get mentored by me now for free on the internet. Right. You don't need to have a 30-minute one-on-one with John Wetmore to learn everything I've ever taught. I do in-office things. I do masterminds every month on Zoom. I give away so much stuff. But so many people, if they don't get so-and-so on the phone every time they need them, immediately when they need them, they're like, he doesn't help me.
Right.
Like, dude, I don't go at it that way. You know what I mean? I want to earn that. You know, so I don't know, dude. I might ramble a little bit, but it's,
I don't know. That's good. Yeah. Not the repeated same mistake, y'all. You know, and it's kind of, you know, you said something, and what I always say too, and we learned this the hard way is, man, if you ain't breaking things, you ain't growing or getting better.
Dude.
I mean, we especially early on when we started to scale quick, we were breaking shit like every week, man. It was super stressful. Don't get me wrong. And some of the stuff we did, repeated mistakes, and it hurt, man. And it's like learning from those. I love that you said that. I mean, not being so caught up in the emotion and in your mind that you miss the opportunity to learn and to change there. Merwin, what you got on, man? Let's go ahead and get ready to close out, guys. This has been freaking awesome. We're going for like an hour and a half. We've literally had like 15, 20 people live with us like the entire time. So thank you guys for tuning in. Before Tony closes us out, Amanda, if you could maybe drop John's link tree. And you still rocking your link tree, John?
I got an actual website now. I turned into a grown-up.
Oh, wow.
JohnWetmore.com, dude.
Drop his website in the comments, just so people
can, and fresh and all kinds of stuff. So I appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, man. And check out Insurance Insiders and stuff. I know that you're, really starting to kick off a lot of content, and stuff like that. So definitely, guys, connect with John. I know you guys. If I did, and I know for a fact I did, I know y'all got some value out of everything that we just went through. So, Tony, what's your parting words, man? What's the last bit for us and close us out?
Great show. Great show. Like, what else can I say? You know,
just hit the cricket. All right, guys.
Are you taking the train out of here?
Yeah.
There was a lot of great stuff we covered. I would say probably one of the biggest things that if anybody takes away from this show, it is to don't be afraid to own your mistakes. Like, have enough care for yourself. Like, care about yourself and your performance and the value that you have and can bring to the table or provide to other people, to own your mistakes when you make them. Don't be ashamed of them.
Yes.
And just to hit on that point a little bit, I became a much better poker player than I was previously when I started owning my mistakes. When I quit saying, oh, it was the card, it was the luck of the cards. Oh, it was that shitty dealer. That dealer sucks. That's why I lost. Or that guy just got lucky or whatever. But when I started realizing and looking at the way the hand would play out, and I started like, oh no, I made a mistake right there. I shouldn't have even been involved in this hand, or I bet it wrong, or I did something wrong. And I was willing to look at that and be honest that I wasn't as good as a player as I thought I was. Then I saw my win rate triple because I was able to start plugging the holes and the gaps in my game. The same is true. I'm using poker as the analogy, but it's true in anything else. We were just listening to a video yesterday or Monday in our development meeting about Kobe Bryant. And it was when he was brand new. I mean, brand spanking new. I think it was his first game in the NBA, and he threw up like 5 air balls. And it was like, and he's like, there's probably a bunch of people out there that are thinking like, wow, what a chump. He threw up 5 air balls. Who is this kid, but he's like, no, he's like, I recognized, he's like, I looked, he's like, why did I throw up those air balls? He's like, oh, because my legs aren't strong enough because I'm still 18 years old, fresh out of high school. I don't have the NBA legs that these other guys have. So I had to immediately change my workout routine to build my legs up so that I don't leave the ball short anymore. So he recognized his mistake, his shortcoming, if you will, and immediately addressed it. That is the hardest thing, I think, for most people to do because it was a slap to your ego.
It was the ball, not me.
Right. It's a slap to your ego to admit that you're not as good as you think you are. But get over yourself. Appreciate the fact that you will make mistakes. Be brutally honest about them. Plug the holes and move on. And I think that's really the crux of this entire show. If I had to wrap it up in one thing, is like, understand that you're human. You're going to make mistakes. Appreciate them. Don't make them twice when you can avoid it. Find someone that can help you learn from that mistake and then go plug the hole and move forward. But great show, man. We appreciate, as always, you guys tuning in to Winning on Wednesday. A lot of great stuff here. Go to johnwetmore.com. Go to his social media site. If you're looking to go to 8%, he's got some free tickets for you. And just give him a follow nonetheless. John, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. We are always here on Wednesdays, 9 a.m. live, and we'll see you next week.
It's the peak of the week, y'all. The bar is low. The standard is low. Get out there. Stay hungry. Get after it. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you, everybody. Have a great day.